Hey, my name is Cody Jensen. iOS 11 just came out and I'm going to show you 5 new features that you may not know about. The first of which being in messages on the keyboard. So this is specifically for the plus size phones. If you have like a 6S Plus, a 7 Plus, or an 8 Plus, you know that it can actually be pretty difficult to type with one hand. Well, with iOS 11, they now added in a feature that allows you to slide over the keyboard to make it a lot easier to type with one hand. So if you're in messages, you can see down here at the bottom, nothing looks different, but there is the button that you would normally press to go into the emoji keyboard. Instead of just pressing that, if you press and hold or you force touch, so you press harder than normal on that button, it'll pop up these other options, and it has the option to slide the keyboard over to the left, slide it over to the right. So I'm gonna slide it over to the right. Now it's much easier to type with just one hand. Also, bonus tip, there's some new screen effects. If you tap and hold on the send button and then tap the screen button up here, there are a couple new ones. So send with echo and send with spotlight. I'm gonna send it with spotlight, like that. If you've already downloaded iOS 11, then you may have already seen part of the next one, and that is Control Center. So Control Center now looks completely different and it has a lot more options, but some hidden things that you may not know about is there are some additional features you can get to through Force Touch. So up here in the top left, there's the options for airplane mode to enable and disable Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But if you press and hold on that, it's gonna open up a bigger window, and now you can see a little bit more information about those, and it adds 2 more of AirDrop and Personal Hotspot. Same with music, it gives you more options by force touching on it. And in the brightness slider, if you tap and hold on it, the night shift button appears. So play around with that, force touch on things, and see what hidden features you can find. And another feature is that you can actually customize the buttons in Control Center now. So if you go into settings and then tap on Control Center and then customize controls, you can tap on that. And then here are all of the buttons you can add into Control Center. So if you use notes a lot, you can hit the plus button next to notes, and then once you swipe up, now the notes button is added to your Control Center. So you can mix and match, delete things you never use, add things you do use, and make Control Center way more useful than it was in the past. The third thing is with live photos. So live photos is something that was introduced a few versions ago, and up until now is basically just a gimmick. You were able to take a live photo by clicking the circle with circle dots around it in the camera. It's at the top center, and if you turned that on, it would basically shoot a short video instead of taking one photo. So if you took the photo, it would capture about a second before and a second after of the photo you took, and then whenever you were in photos and you were swiping through, your photos would move a little bit, and if you tapped and held, you would play the entire live photo. Now there's additional features that actually make live photos really useful. One of which is, if you go into edit, you can now choose which part of the live photo you want to be the image. So originally, this was the key photo of this image, and there's this other person walking through making a weird face, and so it's a little distracting to the photo. But we can look through here and find the best image. So right here we'd find that step, and then once you're done, it would pop up and say make key photo. You would tap that, and now that is saved as the key photo. And when you click done, that's the photo that shows up in your camera roll, and the one that would export or share or whatever if you were to post it on Instagram, things like that. The next thing is really cool. You can now make live photos basically into like boomerangs on Instagram. So if you swipe up on the screen, it's gonna give you options for loop, bounce, and long exposure. And so if I press loop, now the photo loops like a boomerang. Let's swipe up again and hit bounce. And now it's gonna play the video through and then back it up to the beginning, play it through again. The last one is long exposure, and it doesn't work for this photo. It just looks like a picture of a garage door. But if you were taking a photo in low light or at night with cars driving by, things like that, it will combine the entire couple seconds of video it has into one image. And so you may have some light streaks, or you may have a better looking night image. So you can play around with that and see which options work best for you. But all you have to do, take a live photo, swipe up, and you have some additional options. Number 4 is now you can mute conversations way easier. So you've been able to mute conversations for a while. You had to go into the text message, hit the I, and then you would go scroll down, and you could click the little check mark that said mute text message or mute conversation. But now all you have to do is swipe over on the conversation like you were going to delete it, and it says hide alerts. And if you tap hide alerts, now you're no longer going to get notifications for that message. So that's really useful in a group message situation where your phone is just blown up in your pocket and it's really distracting. You can just swipe over and hit hide alerts. You can still read all the text messages later, you just won't be getting the notifications. To turn it back on, same thing, just swipe over, show alerts, done. The fifth thing is new storage settings. So if you have a smaller storage space on your phone, so if you have like a 16 gig, something like that, or you just have tons of stuff on your phone and your phone keeps telling you need to delete stuff in order to take pictures or download apps, things like that, it can be annoying to figure out what to actually delete. Now the iPhone has a way to help you do that. If you go into the settings app and scroll down to general, and then once you're in general, you can go to iPhone storage. In the iPhone storage window, we now have two additional options. We have the auto delete old conversations. So this will just automatically delete all text messages that are over a year old. So if I was to do that right now, it would clear over 4 gigs of data off my phone. And then the second option is to offload unused apps. So it'll look at all the apps you use and see which ones you don't use at all, and it will start deleting those as you fill up your phone. So if you enable this, it's not going to just start deleting stuff immediately. Just as your phone starts to fill up, it'll start to delete the most unused apps. And it says that it will save your documents and data, so I'm assuming that if you re-download that app, you're not going to lose anything that you may have had saved in that app. So hope that helped you. Hopefully there's a couple of those you didn't know about. If you know of some other iOS features that you want to let people know about, leave them in the comments below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Normally vlogs with my wife around New York City. Also do things like this and reviews. And a quick side note, I actually have some in-depth tutorials over at jensencreative.school. These are more production focused courses, and so over there I have how to build a live stream studio, how to use cheap LED light strips in a stage environment, and how to create hand-drawn lyric slides for your productions. All of them are free. All you have to do is put it in your email and you can access any of them that you want. So hopefully that'll help you in some way. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, and we will see you on Monday.